What's up, guys? The red light is on another week, another betting bananas, and it's a special week here for us for betting bananas. Are yours truly right there, the ruthless Elle Wagman. Dude, you're fighting in 3 days, UFC Fight Pass FAC 14. Elle, how the freak are you doing?
I'm good. I'm super
Good?
excited. Yeah. Heck yeah.
Okay. Do you have any props that you want to show us real quick?
we were talking about Star Wars before we
Look
went
how
on.
amazing this is.
So I just
That's official.
That's it, dude.
This is the way.
Yeah, this is the way. This is for all the podcast listeners. They're gonna be like, "What are they doing?" But this will be a cut.
It's actually now a Star Wars podcast. I'm sorry, there are no betting picks here.
No problem. I could probably talk more and better about Star Wars than I can about anything in fighting.
Oh my goodness, this is this card's a real tricky one. We talked a couple minutes before coming on. Holly Holm, Ketlin Vieira in the main event. Holm is a minus 250 favorite on DraftKings. The co-main event is super exciting. But then I'm just going to be honest right off the bat. If anyone thinks they're for sure, they know in the co-main event, they're lying to you. That fight can go 1,000 different ways. First round finish, sub, knockout, 15-minute war, 15-minute boring fight. It could go so many different ways. So but it should be interesting to say the least. So much to get to. I didn't even introduce the guy to my left, Ryan, the cornerman Quinn. What's up, Ryan? How you doing, bro?
Not much. Just we're talking Star Wars. We're talking fights.
We went to Elle and Fight Week and Star Wars. We skipped it.
Sorry, Ryan.
Don't worry about it. Story of my life.
Story of my life. All right. Well, let's get into it. Ladies first, fighters first. It's Fight Week for Elle. What's your absolute best bet? It's to me, it's a hard card to really pinpoint some nice points. So what's your best bet on this card, UFC Vegas 55?
Yeah, so my best bet is not actually a fighter this week because the lines are so close. I'm actually taking my best bet as Chidi Njokuani versus Todorovic to go the under. It's actually great odds, and I feel like that is definitely a fight where we're going to see an early finish.
It's so funny. I shouldn't even say this because I'm trying to stay so neutral as the host. I made this bet literally 8 hours ago. I swear to you. I do the same thing. I look through all the lines, especially when I know we're going to do this show, and some things just jump at you. That jumped at me. I think I got it at plus 145.
Wow.
I saw it. So loved it. Okay, I'm with you. Ryan, what's your best bet on this card?
Yeah, my best bet on this card, I got Jonathan Martinez under 200 beating Vince Morales. There's a lot of stuff that would bring the line a little bit closer, but I'm just looking like he's just been in tough fights every one of his fights. I mean, as we saw, he lost to Davey Grant, who we just saw last week, is a total stud. I mean, he's got a little bit more power, I feel. Morales had a little bit of a layoff. He's like, I think he goes win loss. I just really like that fight. I really like Jonathan Martinez in that fight.
Okay, I like that too. That's a good one as well.
That's a good bet.
Yeah. And minus, it's not, to me, when you get in those 3 and 350s and 380s, it's hard to do a single, and that's when we get into the 3-fight parlay that we'll get into in a little bit. At 200, and I think I just saw it pop up later on tonight at 220. I think it's good. It might get there. So if we put this out Wednesday morning, guys, get on that Jonathan Martinez, because maybe Saturday that might be a 350, 380 kind of a number. So get on it now. All right, Elle, what is your underdog play? What's a play that's on the plus side that you think you can win some extra dollars on that you like that maybe not the rest of the market does?
This card is hard. This card is really hard to do an underdog pick. I feel like there's lots of close fights. Like we've even got like even money, I think, on the co-main event on Santiago and Michelle Pereira. But I am going to take Polyana Viana over Tabitha Ricci. She's not a huge underdog in this, but she's definitely seen the tougher competition up to this point. And she's super dangerous off of her back. She's got dangerous jiu-jitsu, dangerous submissions. I think she's going to get it done.
I like that as well. Okay. Yeah. I got her at plus 110 right now at DraftKings. Ryan, how about you? What's your underdog play on this card?
I was leaning that way, the same as you, Elle, but I right at the top, I really like Ketlin Vieira over Holly Holm. I'm just when I saw that line plus 200, I was like, just because first, I was talking with somebody after Ketlin's last fight. The way we put it, the MMA gods got it right against Misha Tate. Like I felt like Ketlin kind of had an off night, but I just felt her size looks good, and her striking a little bit slower, but overall I just think that she's on the way up. Holly Holm, and I just, especially because this fight's at bantamweight and not at featherweight. I remember when Holly fought Amanda. The first thing I asked was what weight class was it, because I think that like Holly versus Amanda at that time at featherweight, it's a different fight than it would be at bantamweight. I just think that, and I stay away from fighters with the age, but I just think she's got a lot of miles on her, and then just making that cut now. She did have a little bit of a layoff of her own right there, and I just really like what Ketlin's showing lately. I got Ketlin winning that fight.
Okay, okay. We'll get into that before we get into the 3-fight parlay, and we're really into just betting. But I do want to bring up one thing. With running Fight Bananas and social media, you see just a lot of comments and see a lot of stuff. So I want to bring something to you guys that I respect your opinion immensely in the fight game. I keep on seeing every time it's Holly Holm, she's the main event. She's the biggest star in this card. A lot of stuff is based on her. I keep on seeing this picture. I keep seeing this storyline that she is the Buster Douglas of MMA. And to me, that drives me crazy because I can't think of anything further than the truth.
That's unfair. Yeah, I don't agree with that whatsoever.
Right? Am I off base? What do you think, Elle? What's your take?
Who's Buster Douglas?
I was just going to say, do you even know who Buster Douglas is? Buster Douglas is the man who defeated Mike Tyson for the first time. And then he did nothing before that. He did nothing after that, basically.
Right. Fair. Yeah. I don't think you can put that on her. Like she has plenty of notable wins beyond that. Like she beat Irene Aldana, who actually knocked out Ketlin Vieira. I don't think that's fair at all. She definitely, she was very prominent in kickboxing before she even came over to MMA.
Thank you. That's my biggest point. You just nailed it. She was a borderline like Hall of Fame type of combat sports athlete before she even entered the UFC.
She won world titles in boxing and kickboxing.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No big. Like it's just she was amazing before she got here. Then she went on that 3-fight run. And then, of course, she did defeat Ronda, which is like this moment, like one of the biggest wins, upsets in the history of the sport. That's great. But like her last 4 fights, she's won 3 out of her last 4. Like it's not like she's like just falling off this cliff. She had a bad run. But if you look to the people she lost to, it is to Amanda Nunes and Valentina Shevchenko before Valentina Shevchenko was a big name. And GDR, who GDR beats everyone except for the top 2. It's like, she has phenomenal losses, and for her, like Buster Douglas has got 1 win. Like that's it. Yeah. Like Holly's been Hall of Fame.
If anyone ever said that to me, I'd be like, yeah, if Buster Douglas won the Olympics twice. Like that's the silliest. I'm glad I never read that, because that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Run social media for a media outlet company. You see a lot of shit. You see a lot of stuff. But all right, we're off that soapbox. 3-fight parlay, 3 picks. We're going to win some money this week, and I have a great feeling. I tried to look up Elle Wagman right now. I can't find her line, but let's just go on UFC Vegas 55. What are we going on your 3-fight parlay?
Okay, so I actually went and checked out on my bookie what the odds look like for this, and I believe it was somewhere in the 600s, plus 600. But so my 3-fight parlay is I'm using my best bet from earlier on the under for the Nejikwani Todorovic fight. I would also like to add to that the over on the main event. I think that's definitely going to go to a decision. And finally, the third leg of my parlay, I forgot because I have weight cut brain. Oh, Carlos Felipe. Over Chase Hooper. Chase Hooper's, I think he really got into the UFC too young. I really do. I think he had a lot of holes in his game. He had a lot of work that still needed to be done, and he just came in too quick, and now he's taken a lot of damage in a very short amount of time, and I just don't see him being able to sub Felipe. Felipe's got great jiu-jitsu as well, and I think he's going to capitalize on the striking advantage over Chase Hooper.
Yeah, that is a really great, strong parlay. Like I said, the under jumped at me earlier. Yeah, I can. Unless we see something pretty shocking in the Holm fight early with a head kick or something of that nature. Yeah, I can see it going over. I can see another Tate versus Vieira, what we saw for 25 minutes 6 months ago, and then Carlos and Chase Hooper. That's it. That's a tricky one because Chase is so freaking dangerous with submissions and on the grounds and tricky stuff of that nature. But you got to think that anyone who's fighting Chase Hooper knows that and is really planning really hard against it. And when you give the best fighters in the world and their coaches and their team a game plan to go against it, look, that's a really solid 3-fight parlay. Yeah, I got to look that up. We'll add that up together. We'll make a post. If that's in the plus 650 range, we might have to throw a little betting bananas, Venmo, all that together. We'll get something nice. All right, Ryan, what you thinking, man? What's your 3-fight parlay?
I'm gonna pick up where you guys left off. I got Felipe crossover Chase Hooper as well.
Okay.
I just agreed. He got in really young, and I heard that and they're saying it as a positive, and it is if you don't need to be learning, but he's been cross training at a lot of different places. To me, that says he's figuring things out, and come fight camp, not the time to figure things out. A jack of all trades is a master of none, and he's a little bit bigger. But I just I got Felipe Crowell going in that fight. I think we might see a learning Chase Hooper in that fight. Next one, I got Polyana Viana versus Tabitha Ricci. I'm gonna go the over on that one. Ricci's tough, but I just think with she's got really good ground game. I think that Polyana Viana's her ground game's a little bit better. She's a little bit bigger. I think we're going to see a lot of controlling on the ground that fight, but I just either way, one way or the other. That's why I have that fight going the over. I see a lot of canceling out in that matchup. And then the third one, I actually think Santiago is going to pull the win over Michel Pereira. I just I know he's had the knee injuries and stuff. Things are a little different. I think that it's a show me fight for him right now. I just think that he's got enough. He has power. He's got the negate. He can negate jiu-jitsu, and I just like the way that looks. So, like I said, Felipe Corrales, Polyana Ricci over, and Santiago Ponzinibbio.
Yeah, I bet you that's in the 600 range as well, Ryan. Just kind of seeing the numbers and adding it up real quick. I bet you that's up there. 3-4 minutes left. I want to save the last minute for Elle and her fight. So 2 more minutes on this card. We talked about it right before you came on, Elle. Parker Porter at a plus right now, 450. He's the biggest underdog on this card.
It's getting closer. It was 700 last night.
Oh my goodness! He's won 3 straight fights in the UFC, not like in the CES or on Fight Pass. He's won 3 straight UFC heavyweight fights. He's at plus 450 against a light heavyweight moving up. It's not like it's John Jones. It's like, I would lean the other way, but as someone at 450, I'm leaning Parker Porter. How about you guys?
I feel like at heavyweight too, it's one of those underdog bets that you just have to throw at least something on. That's a great straight bet, to be honest, simply because the odds are really good and anything can happen at heavyweight. Like, the rules of MMA don't apply to heavyweights a lot of the time. They really don't. And especially when you've got 2 guys with big power, it's a possibility. Absolutely.
Yeah. I was saying to Dave before, we need to have like a special pick in the show called the F it, throw it, like throw it on a show, like where it's like where bets like this, like you can only win, I just think, like you said, Parker, 3 fights, he's at heavyweight. He's shown a lot of growth while he's in the UFC. He's got volume with his striking now. I know him personally. He's fairly athletic for a heavyweight. Yep. And he's fighting a guy that's coming up from 205. I don't see the gap. As we see now, it's closing. So get those bets in now on that, folks.
And it's one of those, it's the normal casual MMA fan. You look at the fight poster and one guy looks like a Zeus Greek god with an 8-pack. And one guy looks like the guy who just brought in our Budweisers, into a 7-Eleven. But that guy is just as dangerous, maybe more technique, maybe more skill. Not even this. You ready for this one? I think Parker Porter's probably got more cardio, better cardio, fight cardio. And then I don't know. So I'm just leaning plus 450. And then the people's main event, I agree, is this co-main event. That should be the most exciting fight in the card. Betting wise, I'm just going to stay out of it. a Vieira fight, you just don't know what you're going to get. Like, he's the one, he beat Fiallo, who, you know, I've been really high on. The guy's won 2 fights in a row. And, you know, Michelle is the one who beat Fiallo in his debut in the UFC. Sometimes when he comes to fight, he looks amazing, looks dangerous. Sometimes then he looks a little bit off. And I know Pons has kind of been through a lot of injuries. You know, Ryan, I know a lot of people down there. They say he's just in the gym wise, he's one of the best in the world. Like when on a Tuesday afternoon, he's just, there's not a lot of better, you know, fighters on this planet than him. So it's just, can he still do it in the UFC octagon at this age and through these injuries? We'll see. Like it, but I'm so excited for this fight.
I'm with Ryan on that fight as well. I really think I'm with you. Michel Pereira, he shows up a different way every time. He's crazy. Yeah. He's wild. But a veteran like Ponzinibbio, who's been in there, who has a solid chin, I really do think like he's the kind of fighter that typically beats a guy like Michel Pereira.
I agree. Elle, you kind of been on now. It's been 15 minutes. You put on a Star Wars hat. You look great. You're talking great. When does that little transition into the baddest motherfucker on this planet? When does that come out? Like, when is that transition? Is it walking into the arena? Is it, you know, weigh-in day when you kind of look eye to eye? When does that transition really start for you?
Man, I'm all smiles until the cage door closes. Like, okay. I literally dance my way to the cage every time. I love this. Like, it's so much fun. Right now, I'm a little hungry. I actually feel fantastic. I'm not going to lie. Huge shout out to Tyler Minton, who's still the best in the game. But I feel great. This is by far the best I've ever felt during fight week. I'm sharp. My cardio's good. I'm in shape. I live in Florida, so it's warm. You know, everything's good. I'm just excited. I'm excited.
It's so funny you said that. I'll end it on this. I just made a post on my Instagram. So I was in Texas for the PFL. This past weekend, I was in Biloxi, Mississippi for that boxing card, which was crazy. That Frank Gore knockout is everywhere, by the way. It's bananas. But I took my son to like a splash pad, and it's water, nothing but blue skies and palm trees in the background. Like, all those other things are good. This damn Florida thing is pretty damn awesome. I love it. Like I'm a Floridian for life now. I'm not going anywhere.
Oh yeah.
Man, I was up at my parents' house in Connecticut for my sister's wedding, and I had to have 2 cups of coffee right away every morning just to get up out of bed because it was so cold. I was like, I can't do it anymore. Can't do it anymore.
Oh my goodness. Guys, I love the picks. I love both parlays are looking nice. We'll get some stuff going. Elle, have a great week. Maybe we'll talk to you in a couple of days. And hopefully we'll talk to you next. Ben and Bananas, we'll start the show about your 3-minute victory speech, and we'll take it from there, guys.
Yeah. Kick ass, Elle. We're looking forward to it for you.
Thanks, guys.
Right. Elle Wagman, UFC Fight Pass, Friday night, FAC 14. Go get it. Just go subscribe right now. There you go. Later.